Good evening. This is an extra class today on 19th of August, and it is being scheduled in order to have a recap of what I have taught in our previous classes, and also to wind up the current topic so that in our next class in strategic management we can continue with a newer topic. What I was telling you in the morning was that a difference between strategic and operational planning, and there is was also a term called corporate planning, and there was also a term called planning in management functions. So planning is something related with deciding the future course of action, and the implementation is actually not a part of the plan. It is something which is being delegated to the junior staff. So when we are discussing strategic planning, it is planning which is being done by the top management. It is futuristic. It is related with all the departments and divisions which are working under the corporate umbrella. And what is important is that in case of operational planning, the operational heads are responsible to implement the strategies being decided, the planning being decided by the top management in their own respective departments. So in terms of strategic planning, it takes into account the external environment, but in case of operational planning, which is planned for the allocation of resources. See, strategic planning is done to in order to allocate resources to various departments. How much material, manpower and money is going to be given to X, B, Y, Z, P division, it is being decided on the strategic level. But once it is being given, the actual implementation of the work is being conducted by the operational level. So operational planning will set into play. Operational planning focus on internal organization, and strategic planning, as I've already told you, is primary to operational planning and is being conducted by top management. So you can say that it is something which is related with the maintaining a balance between the internal and the external environment. The last thing we were discussing in detail in our morning class was that strategic planning is conducted by those who give their time thoroughly to the planning aspects only. They are not bothered by the implementation aspect. They actually delegate the work to their junior staff, that is middle staff, as well as the lower management staff. The implementation part rests with them only. So a coordination is to be maintained between strategic and operational planning. Those who are having difficulty in getting these terms because they have not joined the earlier classes or have not gone through all the material that have been provided, I am going to provide you material at the end of this lecture, and it will be shared on your WhatsApp group as well as on email. There is a feedback form also which I am telling you time and again to please fill that form, because it will require your say 15 seconds, but it will be of immense help to the teacher, so that if there is any problem, nobody has ever said that the classes fall below their expectation. If you are going to tick that it is below your expectation, then it will help me improve my lecture, and it will help me and force me to prepare well in advance for the next lecture. The teacher is not going to be offended by your true response. So please fill the feedback form, but only after you have read and you have listened or attended the class in proper manner. Before, without attending the class, it is of no use. So coming back to the topic, there is a conflict between the strategic and operational planning. Why there is a conflict? Because the two types of plannings are different. Management planning says that planning aspect in management function says that we have to plan each and every aspect of business in terms of short term planning as well as long term planning. But corporate planning says, yeah, includes or connotes that it is not only the planning aspect but the implementation aspect is embodied in corporate planning. So, business policy, strategic management, strategy planning, long term planning, all these terms are synonymous. I was telling you in the morning that please don't take long term planning and corporate planning as same, because normally corporate planning includes even the short term plans also. There are three level of strategies that we have discussed. First is on the corporate level, then on the profit center level, which normally or commonly known as SBU or strategic business unit, department or divisions you can say. And third is the functional level, in which each and every department is performing certain functions. Say the advertising department, marketing department is dealing with sales, promotion, and a whole lot of activities. So the resources that will be utilized by the functional head, they are responsible to fulfill the and achieve the objective set by the corporate, set by the strategic. The functional department is going to respond to them, first to the strategic and then to the achievement of corporate plans. On operational level, or you can say a functional level, and on strategic level, the first thing, the reason for conflict is that different groups of peoples are involved. If on strategic planning level top managements are involved, in operational planning level they may not relish changes. What it means that strategic planning management top management, they expect changes to happen, they expect things to change now and then. But on functional level, department level, normally they they does not relish changes, they don't enjoy any change in their routine or work culture, because the mindset is different. Another source of conflict is the period of futurity. Normally strategic planners concentrate on fairly a long period of time, they are flexible in their thinking, but on operational level they are more concentrate on the near future. So this is what actually demarcate a financial planner, sorry, a strategic planner and a operational planner. The third cause of difference is, I've already told you that the pace of working is different. Junior staff are told to complete the task as soon as possible, but senior staffs, they normally take their own time, because their decisions are going to impact the corporation on a say larger level. So they are bound to take each and every factor into consideration. In a way they are laid back in their aptitude, or you can say they take decision in a leisurely manner, आराम से वो decisions लेते हैं. Next thing we have covered, and where we have ended our morning lecture, was strategic decisions. I was telling you that decision making is a part of management function. But when it comes to making decisions, not on routine task, but on the task like whether it is better to open a branch maybe in another country like Singapore, or it's better to produce the parts indigenously, that is on your own, or whether you want to close down your operations of a particular unit. These are decisions which we were discussing in under financial management, that they are long term decisions, they are capital investment decisions, but here we term them as strategic decisions because they are involving certain strategies, certain way of thinking, certain long term impacts going to affect the businesses, its profit, its image, goodwill of the company. Yesterday, I was looking through some news items in Google or maybe in Yahoo, and there was a picture of Ratan Tata and nano model, and there was a news that what went wrong with nano, that only a slight mistake in advertising it and positioning the nano in the market, the whole from range of 4 to 6 months, they failed to get any para, you can say a substantial order from the customers because they have termed the car as Laktakia, or maybe there was news in the medias that the car is going to be for the masses, and car is going to be even a maid, and even a mali, even a clerk in any office not getting, maybe in below poverty line, or maybe a person having on the side of, you can say, simply saying middle class or lower middle class individual and family can afford this car. That positioning went against the Tata Nano, not in terms of the brand, or not in terms of the quality, but what was happening was that when the car actually came out, it was much the price was around 2.24 lakhs or something, and it was not as being propagated by the news media, and even there was a denial from the corporate as well, from the corporate channel as well, that we never advertised and never branded Tata Nano as a Laktakia car. What I am telling you is that there was some sort of miscommunication, or maybe an interview went wrong, or there's an information which was not denied at proper time, the timing went wrong, and ultimately the model, the brand, and even the goodwill of the Tata taken up and suffered substantial losses. That was the main cause of the courtroom battle and the boardroom battle between Cyrus Mistry and Ratan Tata. So I was telling you that operational decisions are routine nature, whereas the decisions taken by the strategic managers or the top management are not routine based decisions. They try to attempt to foray into the field that is more or less uncertain. There are three elements which I have told you are in the strategic decision making. I have covered this portion, but what I want to do is to give you in detail and try to finish that course in this one extra class, so that if someone is having any problem, the whole weekend is there, you may ask your problems till Sunday, that is maybe falling there are 4 or 5 days ahead of you, and you can go through the syllabus. The notes will be shared. The entirety it's required that you give a thorough reading to the material being provided. These pages are only from a book. a good book reading is required in order to get a proper foundation, and then we can continue with the next chapter. Strategic decision making is a part in which the realization of goal must be there. It involves decisions which may be entirely different from what you have decided maybe a week ago or maybe a month ago. So this is ever changing environment I'm talking about now and then. There is a wide range of alternatives that strategic managers have to cope up with. That's why the decisions are not laid back, they are not leisurely taken, they require time. Strategic decisions are to be taken after considering thoroughly the competitive environment one company or maybe a unit or product is going to face. See, if Bharti Airtel is taking any decision to roll out 5G services, then it must consider the decisions that Reliance Jio or maybe Vodafone Idea is going to take in retaliation, and there is also the state owned BSNL, and I have used BSNL data plan on my phone as well as on broadband also. Some of my relatives are using BSNL broadband plan. They are not only cheap, the speed is quite good, and the consistency, as it was not there, but now the consistency of signal is also very good. So there is a complete change in the mindset. Even if you must have heard about a statement by the state telecommunication minister and other ministers in the present government at the center, that they have claimed that BSNL staffs have dished and are like traitors and in their own manner, and they have ruined the earning and prospects of BSNL for rendering benefits to the private operators. BSNL has all the infrastructure. So if the management, if the government, if the managing director of BSNL, on the insistence of the central government and the telecommunication minister, is taking up this task to revive the BSNL and its broadband activities, then a whole lot of decision has to be taken, and all those decisions will come under strategic decision making. There are three main elements in strategic decision making. First is whether the decisions have results element in them. This is the first decision or element in strategic decision making. The second is that whether a course of action or specific work plan is there to achieve these objectives, and thirdly whether a commitment is there. So the ministers were actually what they were telling, that the BSNL staff lacks commitment toward their own organization, and that has resulted in ruining the prospects of BSNL as a state-owned enterprise in telecommunication sector. So result element must be there. Secondly, the action element must be there, in which the required personals are they are required to take immediate action on certain policies and certain planning aspects. So its implementation part must be there in order to achieve the objective of the company. And thirdly, a committed workforce, a dedicated workforce must be there, because long range planning. See, today there was good news that SSR case, Sushant Singh Rajput case, is being handed over to CBI, and there is a verdict by the Supreme Court. All the supporters and the fans of SSR, they have fought a battle of, say, maybe of 2 long months. So if the decisions and if the policies and if the whole planning is ranges from say from few months to several years, then a commitment must be there so that the things can be pursued well, the things and the work can be done in a robustic manner, and the results, there might be a range of say 4 or 5 years before the results actually started coming in. So what is required is that a proper commitment must be there. So if these three elements are there, the action element, the result element, and third one is the commitment element, then we can say that strategic decision making can be fruitful. Important is also that responsibility of and accountability must be there. Commitment, apart from commitment, the assignment of responsibility, who is going to do this work, who is interested to complete this task, who is responsible for supervision, who is to be blamed for not being able to complete the task in a stipulated timeline. All these things has to be taken into consideration in strategic decision making. Next heading is related with locus of action. See, the decisions must lead or head from a central or pivotal point. If the director sir in our institution is giving any instruction, it should be generated or it should be propagated or advertised or on the website from the director's office, then it will be taken in good manner, or in, you can say, in disciplined manner by each and every department and each and every faculty and by each and every student. So locus of action should be there. You can say a centralized decision making should be there, in which a centralized team, by taking all the pros and cons of the decision, by taking all the scenarios and all the competitive scenarios and opportunities and threat in place, by taking all these considerations, they are making decisions, and it should generate from the central management or from the top management or the core decision authority. Timing of action is also important, because unless and until the timing of action, the whole planning get failed, unless and until it is being properly implemented and properly committed completed within the timeline. The last section that I'm going to tell you is about Mintzberg. Mintzberg have, you can say, promulgated, or maybe you can say formulated or devised these three approaches for strategic decision making. First is entrepreneurial approach, second is adaptive approach, and third is planning approach. In the entrepreneurial approach is something related with capitalizing on the opportunity. What an entrepreneur normally do? He takes risk, he makes quick decisions, and want to capitalize on the opportunity. See, in today's newspaper, I have read that India is have become number two in the supplier of PPE kit around the world. So the entrepreneurial capability of Reliance and the futuristic vision of the chairman and the managing director and the team of the core strategic decision making committee have decided to produce PPE kit, because they are seeing a surge in the demand and requirement of demand. They have diverted their resources in production of PPE kit, and that have resulted in India becoming uh, the second PPE kit provider. And this is what the leader actually do. They take the lead, and among 210 or more countries in the world, we have become second in producing those facilities. Or maybe in future we are going to, because there was a news from Ravi Shankar Prasad, Minister, Union Minister, that India Indian government has initiated a scheme in which any person who is going to, or any firm or any startup is going to produce processors, and for the indigenous motors for washing machine, for air conditioners, so that they will be provided crores of rupees as incentives and prize money if they have succeeded in indigenously develop these motor parts and machines and microprocessors. What they are actually trying to uh, uh, you can say motivate the engineers in our country, that we are going to be the common jumla that we are hearing these days, we are going to be atmanirbhar only when and there will be entrepreneurial and startup activities will be fruitful and will be successful in our country. So what actually an entrepreneur do, they capitalize on the opportunity. There is a centralized decision making in entrepreneurship. The bold decisions and usual decisions are challenged each and every time in the external environment. These are the things which makes Reliance, Nirma, and Tatas and other as pioneer in the field, because they are adapted, they are not adaptive to the environment. They are making themselves more aware and more skillful even before the environment pose them a challenge. The second is the adaptive approach in strategic decision making. In adaptive approach, what is normally done is it's a problem solving rather than an opportunity tapping activity, in which the management takes decisions to solve the problems and not to cash on any opportunity that comes way, a new opportunity that comes their way. Coalition of decisions dominate decision making means there are chairmen, there are board of directors, there are directors, there are external directors, you can say independent directors. CFO may be the part of the core committee, decision committee, and they collectively take decisions. These decisions are sequential. These decisions are taken one at a time, and basically these decisions are there to solve the problem they are facing presently, and they are not any innovation or innovative approach to decision making. And finally, public sector companies, you can see the adaptive approach they follow. They adapt to the environment, and they are Pranab Mukherjee and Infosys chairman Narayanan Murthy have said that since independence, India has not seen any innovation, any innovation in the maybe in public domain, in electronics or in telecommunication or any other. We have adopted technology from the US, from the UK, from the Russia. We are dependent on arms and ammunitions from the other countries, but yes, we are getting and trying to be indigenous in several fields, and hope the future will be bright. And the last thing that I'm going to cover in this 30-minute lecture is related with the approach, the third approach in strategic decision making, and this is planning approach. This approach is basically on the various factors which we are taking into consideration for tackling any problems. Basically, government adopt this approach. You must have heard about 5-year plans. Socio-economic problems are to be taken into this category. The systematic and structured approach to solve any problem is there, in which there is always a predefined or structured manner in which a proper problem is going to be solved. See, in COVID scenario, we have seen that the entrepreneurial activities have taken a backseat. The government have taken a front seat. They have tried to control this COVID situation. it is a matter, it is different theory and different story that the COVID cases are on a surge right now because people